Let me tell you something nobody tells beginners. Yeah, I keep saying it. You see, paint is not magic. Paint is not talent. Paint is not luck. Paint is a system. And if you don't understand that system, every formula you copy will fail. Today, I will explain paint manufacturing in the simplest way possible, like you are 10 years old. No grammar, no confusion, no big factory lines, just real manufacturing. Most people fail in paint manufacturing for one reason. They don't understand how paint is built. They buy chemicals, they copy PDF, they mix randomly. You see, and when the paint spoils, separates, smells, or falls in the wall, they blame the chemical. But the real problem is no system. A factory is not a building. A factory is a process. If you understand the process, you can produce from home. If you don't understand the process, even a big factory will fail. See, a factory is measurement, order, control, consistencies, not noise, not speed, not big machine, but a simple system and process. Now, paint is built in four layers. Number one, the water phase. Number two, the binder, that is the backbone. Number three, pigment, that is the color. Number four, additives, the controls. If any of this is wrong, the paint fails. Let me break it down for you. Now, let's move over to the water phase. You see, water is not just water. I know it's water and it's a mixing medium, but it is the environment of the paint. Dirty water equals to dirty paint. Wrong pH equals to unstable paint. Wrong mixing equals to foam, bubbles, and separation. And at the end of your production, the total outcome, that is the finishing of your paint on the wall, will simply reflect all this process that it encounter during the mixing stage. That is why most times you see something like web on the wall, you see the paint separating, you see the dirtiness on the wall can show during the color process. You can also see the pH balance, which a lot of people are not familiar. You can see the one patches of the paint, the color. You understand? So most of the times, a lot of people are not familiar to these processes. The process that your paint undergoes will show itself at the finishing stage on the wall. That is when you see customers complaining, or yourself, you can identify that there's something wrong with the paint you just produced after it has been applied on the wall. Now let's move over to the binder phase, the backbone of paint. You see, binder is the backbone of every paint you produce. That is your water-based paint. No binder, no paint. The binder controls the adhesion, the strength, the washability, and the durability. Cheap binder equals to cheap paint. Please take note. Wrong binder equals to peeling of paint when it's dried, staining of paint, and also UV sun situation of the paint, color fading, paint not lasting to 4 or 5 years. All of these issues you encounter in your paint most of the times comes from the type of binder you use, and not only the type of binder you use. The quality of your binder determines the quality of your paint. Don't get me wrong, oh. If you go and buy expensive binder, because I said the quality of your paint determines the quality of the binder, of course you have to look into other chemicals as well. But binder is the backbone of every water-based paint. Hope you're learning something today. Now let's move over to the second stage, which is the pigment. Pigment is not filler. Please take note. You see, pigment is color. Filler is for body. If you confuse pigment and filler, your paint will fail automatically. I see a lot of people will say, "Oh, okay, because titanium dioxide is classified as a pigment as well," and they will say, "Okay, let me use it as a filler." No, 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 no. You don't need to confuse, or rather, confuse yourself on these two particular chemicals. Now, additives. You understand? The additive controls the system. Yes, it controls the system of the paint. And that is why I keep telling you, if you don't know the system, you're going to ruin any batch of paint you want to produce. You understand? Now, additive controls the thickness, additive controls the drying, additive controls the shelf life. That is to say, the longness of the paint. And additive controls the stability. Not only that, additive controls the smell. When you see a paint having this foul smell odor, and again, additive controls the foam. That is the bubble. So, factories don't guess additive, never. They design them. And when you keep copying random PDF formulation, random formulation without knowing how this additive works, you're causing yourself so many mistakes. In manufacturing, order is more important than chemicals. Yes. You see, same chemical, different order, different result. Wrong order causes separation of paint, watering of paint, lumps of paint, forms in paint, and spoilage of paint. Factories follow order, mixers guess, and that is why they have issue. They guess, what chemical am I going to put? Okay, this was added in this stage, that was added in this stage. No system, no rightful order. You are a mixer, not a manufacturer. You see, most formula fail because they were not designed for your environment. And this is where a lot of paint manufacturer fails. See, different countries have different water, different raw materials, different climate, different paint prices. So copying blindly is dangerous. Factories adjust formula, mixers copies formula because they just want to mix. They don't want to start a successful paint manufacturing business with their skills. And that is why they're mixers. They feel that they've started producing paint because they've gotten the formula. So they go ahead and start mixing. But that is very wrong, because this kind of issue can cause you so many problems that it will land you to somewhere else that you pray you don't want to be. You understand? Most paint manufacturers know what I'm talking about. You understand? Now, let me tell you a very simple truth. You don't need a factory to start. Yes, for some of us that want to start a paint manufacturing business, all you need is one, a scale, a mixer, of course, clean water around your environment, and the rightful knowledge. Please, the rightful knowledge. That is, big machine without understanding equals to lose. Small startup with knowledge equals to growth. Because when you have the rightful knowledge with your small startup, you can become a big brand with your factory. That is why many successful paint manufacturing companies do not come out to throw away their formulation randomly, because they started small and they have the right system, the right knowledge. Until you meet with them, they'll be able to share that knowledge rightfully with you. And remember, we also have the trade secret. Of course, my students are aware of what the trade secret is all about. You understand? So you have to know the system. You have to have the right knowledge if you want to be in this business for so many years. And apart from that, if you want to make profit, yes, making profit in paint manufacturing business has its own secret. And when you know all these secrets, you'll be able to grow, build your brand, and of course, make profit, make your business reach out to the rightful customers the right way in your own country. The differences is not capital. The differences is not equipment. The differences is not connection. The differences is understanding. And that is what I want you to get today. When you understand manufacturing, you stop panicking, you stop wasting money, you stop guessing, you start controlling quality. That is what the zero to manufacturing course teaches you. It is not a formula course, it is not a thinking course, it is a factory foundation course that is going to build you as a new paint manufacturer or an already existing paint manufacturer that wants to upgrade their production and business section the right way. So many of us have been producing paint for so many years. But if you ask yourself, you know that you are lacking the right upgradement skills. Aside from that, if you look at yourself, you know that you are also lacking the business side, the communication skills as well. Someone told me the other day, Coach Gleaner, paint is paint. There is nothing different. Is it not to mix paint? And I laugh. I said, paint is not just paint. There is a system and there is a process. If paint is just paint, then why do you need to upgrade your skill? Why do you look at other paint on the wall and then you pinch yourself and say, this is not the way my paint look like? And those people don't have factories, but you have a factory and your paint cannot even beat your competitors in the market. Paint is not just paint. There are system, there are process. You need the right foundation. That is the problem. There are so many formulation out there. There are so many PDF out there, but the knowledge is not passed properly. When you understand the knowledge from the foundation, I don't think you need to run around to look for anybody to coach you on how to adjust your formulation or how to produce a paint that suits any given environment. That is it. Another thing a lot of people don't understand is that paint works differently for different environments. You cannot produce a paint that will do well for an Hamatan season, then now produce it on a hot weather season. You now start seeing your clients complaining, this paint is just 4 months, oh, the color has faded. What is happening? And then during the Hamatan time, you see a customer complain, that paint you painted my house during that other season, I look down and I'm seeing cracks. See, the foundation is the best startup you can ever do for your paint manufacturing skills. And that is why I keep telling paint manufacturers out there that are already producing paint, you need to get the right knowledge and the right mentorship. Because the right mentorship directs you with what you already have the right way. So you don't need to start going up and down looking for something that you're not supposed to be looking for. If you want to stop guessing, if you want to start correctly or upgrade your skills rightfully, if you want to build like a factory, even if you don't have a factory, you want to exist and operate like a factory, then you need to start with the zero to manufacturing course. Yeah. The reason I'm talking about this course is that this course particularly do not just help someone that wants to start a successful paint manufacturing business from scratch. It also helps and educates an already existing paint manufacturer who wants to build your paint system rightfully. Wherever you are in the world, you could be in Ghana, you could be in Tanzania, you could be in Kenya, you could be in Liberia, you could be in Nigeria, you could be in the US, you could be in the UK, you could be in Germany, you can be in wherever you are in the world. You want to get the right foundation system with your already existing knowledge, then this course is a bomber. This course is what you need. That is going to educate you with what you already know. And if you don't have any knowledge about paint manufacturing business. You don't even know, but you love the skill. You want to start. You are afraid. How do you invest your money in this business? How do you go about it rightfully? How do you start something lucrative in your country? How do you as in grow your income? How do you build a company in this business? Like how you see other companies. This course is for you. It takes you one step at a time. It tells you what you need to do rightfully. It also teaches you how not to waste your money. A lot of people will start a business. You know when you want to start a business, that urge, that excitement is there. But after 6 months, you ask yourself, are you still in that business? Are you still reading that ebook you bought? Is that coach still giving you that mentorship you need? Are you really getting what you paid for? This course will help you for the right knowledge you need. Because paint manufacturing is not about mixing, it's about understanding each processes, following a system, the other, and of course, building your own successful paint manufacturing brand. Until we meet again, bye for now.